Clips. Alrighty YouTube, another one of Kip's Clips, and welcome to the first ever conceptual show called Kip even, a live Q&A session. So it's just, I don't know, Clips. Here we go. Alrighty YouTube, another one of Kip's Clips, and welcome to this bloody well the first ever conceptual show called Kip even. Shut up. As smooth as ever. So anyway, welcome to Call Kip. I'm going to get on with this and see how the concept works out. Predominantly going to be focusing on oh shit. Organised. I'm going to try and concentrate a wee bit more on the messages, the text, the chat box, as well as my new Skype. If I fucking signed in yet, oh god. Sorry about this. There we go, that should work. And then a few wee teething problems, but I'll get over it. Right, so that's me got a few. I've got Gas Mask and Mr. Systems already added me on the Skypes. So how you doing, guys? Thanks for adding us. If you've got any questions or whatnot during the show, you want to ask me a question, use the links below. At the moment, if you put into your Skype call Kip's Clips, you'll get the Skype that I'm using just now. Either send me a message, a contact request, or you can call, and we'll try and do a telephone call thingy. Like a call, I don't know, what would you call it? Like talk radio. Brilliant idea. Shortly, if this works and it gets more people involved, I can get myself I'll get myself a spare SIM, put it in my phone, and take calls from people's mobiles. It's just to try and give more people more options, ways to get in touch if they want to get involved. And the famous tried and tested method, the Google Hangouts down below. So anybody want to join, there's the two methods you can use just now, as well as getting into the chat, and hopefully in future there'll be a mobile number. So if you do appreciate this, if you get any value from it, feel free to stick a wee thumbs up, any suggestions, so on and so forth. I'm only able to read a certain amount of the live chat, so if anybody wants to make any suggestions and make sure I get the comment, please come after the live show and leave a comment, and I'll definitely get it. So thank you so much. So in the evening, everybody, thanks for joining. The people that have Crypto. Klaus, how you doing, mate? John Welsh, how you doing? Stewie, how you doing, buddy? CMF Wrestling, bonjour, my man. Gas Mask, how you doing? Paula B. Dajor Vision as well. Dajor Jadori Vision, how you doing, mate? Probably butchering that name, but I'm doing my best. C3 Grimey, was that? Grimmy, how you doing? Gas Mask Lopsum, how you doing, guys? Seen you in earlier having a good wee giggle. There was Blazing in as well. How you doing, Blazing? You're all da. How you doing, my man? Blazing, Gas Mask Lopsum in the evening, guys. Thanks for joining. Offski Quickski was in for the start as well. So and there's Jemima. How you all doing? So I'm going to firstly, my idea was to start off with the news, but I actually did get a question. Kinda show it. I can come over here and yeah. Anyway, so I got this question. This was on one of the clips. It was from Missanthorpe Supreme. One question for you. Where would I start if I wanted to look more into the sort of InfoU cover kit? that would there's a vast amount of information out there, and I'm not quite sure what the best starting point is. Good luck with your show. And I said, well, the idea I wanted to sort of get out here was just organise, box, smart, not hard. It's kind for me, and this I would imagine this is completely different for everybody out there. I'd imagine this is completely different for everybody out there. I'm assuming most people would find their own wee, most efficient way of shifting through information. So, the first time to try and make your learning curve, or the amount of information you can go through, first thing to do is organise, isn't it? There's so much information out there. It's spread so many different places. Sometimes you'll come across information and never be able to get back there. The World Wide Web is a big place. It's hard to remember links, where you were, so on and so forth. So a really good step for me was was when I started to try and organise myself, organise how I could shift through information, store it, have bullet points, so on and so forth. And I'll show you some of the methods, the madness to my methods. So a lot of people in the live shows would have seen just how I set my browser up for first and foremost. People use whatever. I'm not shouting for Firefox or anything. Use whatever browser you want. Set it out whatever way you want. Get a very, get a system on your browser and stick to it. Because if you stick to the one system, you know how it operates, and you know where everything is. So for example, like my news bracket up here, I've got hundreds of stuff. Probably literally hundreds of stuff. This is how I organise all my stuff. It's changed over the years. I've got different ones, so on and so forth. But I've got so many web pages, information sources, things I've looked at, topics, useful things I commonly go to. Relatively organised. I mean, I could organise it a million times better, but at least I've got things where I know where I can look for them if I needs be. RSS feeds, very good resource if you want to skim through news headline articles. It sounds mental as well. Like, say for somebody that like alternative media, cut alternative media out. Cut as many people out the process of you getting to that information as possible. You get away from so much spin, so much bullshit. Always chase the source of information, and then even go one better. Not only change the source of it, then when you get the source, chase the money of that source. Look at the past history of that source, who founded that organisation, so on and so forth, and you can tell so much from that. Regardless of that, if that headline or that bit of information that you've just read completely fits your world view, always still scratch beneath the surface of it, every single story. And for me, what happened is, over time, I built up, and I didn't even realise I was doing it, but I was building up a big, massive knowledge database in my head of where all the alliances of all the news organisations, who's parroting the same stuff, even though Mr. Independent over here says he's independent and Mr. Independent over here. Why are they always pushing the same stories? Why are they always going to the same talking points? Why are they always covering Sweden now? Why are they all covering Germany now? Why are they all covering this thing that Trump's doing now? Why are independent outlets around the world apparently on the surface coordinating? So organise yourself. Generally speaking, most human beings are fairly similar, and can shift through the same amount of information. So it's about how you organise it, how you categorise it in your heads. how to shift through a lot of information. So organise yourself, right? So how I organise myself is all my bookmarks here. As you can see, I've got RSS feeds all at once. This is my main ports of call. I've got the top, EU and UK, other, news, stream live, YouTube, conspiracies, and just all news sources that I've gathered up over the years. Notes. Now, this will show you back in the day, even when I was with F.E.A.R, what I was doing to organise myself, and when I was live on radio to have some sort of a, not script, not written down bullet points, but the way I see it is a flowchart of information, a rolling stream of consciousness with bullet marks of the information that made you think that way. It's kind of like, it's all great coming up here and going 2 and 2 equals 4. But it's like at school, your teacher wants you to show your workings. It's all brilliant coming up here and saying, I came to this conclusion because of that, wow. Because most people are just rhyming and repeating. You know what I mean? Like, it's like most people out there are looking over other people's shoulders and going, oh, they came to that answer, quick, scribble that down. That sounds fucking great. And then they'll do a wee video and go, wham bam, this is why I'm Richie Allen, I just came to this conclusion all myself. When what he's ultimately been doing is peering over other people's shoulders. A bad, very, 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 very bad idea out there. There's a lot of people out there that watch a lot of YouTube, a lot of different YouTubes, and you can spot this a mile off. And this becomes so obvious over a time who are the rhyming repeaters and the real, like, smaller YouTube channels out there that all they do is mirror and put out the same information as bigger ones. You can pretty much see who they watch by the content they put out. So even back in 2013, I don't know, what can I do with this? I want to show you all this. So here was my notes. Useful documents, law dictionary, oil pipelines, webcam, NYMAR 24 hour. Useful wiki, Wikipedia's, oxymoron, useful wikis, but banned books, Google Images, just lots of useful sources that I've looked at over the years, and I've thought that I might refer back to it. British Constitutional Group, going with green. So that's how I'll organise my bookmarks. Now this is as simple as organising a browser. It'd be a very efficient way to get to where you want to go very quickly. All your news, when you're doing live shows, have all the stories you're talking about. Now, like, see when F.E.A.R wasn't doing fuck all, this was the shit I was putting together for the show. And this wee walloper would just rock up and like steal everything I was saying and pass it off as his own, even though I'd been spending like fucking the whole day, the whole week organising links and stories for the show. He would rock up and then realise like he wasn't really contributing anything. So organise yourself, even get a timestamp of all the information you've looked through. It might not seem valuable at the time, but in longevity, what you might find is a lot of these old links that you've been at come in use. At the moment, when I've got my notes, I've got news, I've got other, just organise hundreds of stuff. Just keep yourself organised with your browser. I'll get my history up there. Just allow yourself to work through information faster. And I do have a few tips here and stuff, and I will bounce into the chat and hopefully ask questions when I'm finished trying to talk shite about this one. Another, let me see, this could go horribly wrong, but it should be alright. Another important thing that I done was organise my emails as well, so I can sort through them relatively quickly. Now, this is what works for me. It won't work for everybody. This is just how I find a very easy way to shift through a hell of a lot of information and watch what I think is relevant to me at the time. And not only, you don't have to shift through, you don't have to watch every YouTube video in its entirety to see patterns. What I mean by that is I subscribe to any and all YouTube channels that I find interesting, from the ones I love to the ones I hate to the ones I want to debate. Just the whole spectrum of YouTube channels I subscribe to. I ask for email alerts. Now, I know some people can get very anal with their emails, and I'm one of them. I like to keep everything clean and organised, as you can tell when it comes to this anyway. And it might piss some people off just having barrages of fucking YouTube email alerts that you can go and get. I don't use YouTube as a browsing tool. I find it very ineffective. All it does is put shit that they want you to watch up, and it's all fur coat and no knickers. You can't get through that lot of information, for me anyway. So what I do is I subscribe to all the channels. I ask for email alerts. The vast majority of the time that works very, very efficiently. And then what I can do is, without it getting mixed up with hundreds of different emails in my email, in my email folders, I've got it organised so everything from YouTube goes into one folder, bounce into that, and then rather than having to respond to that in a wee second, I know it looks like I'm just deleting it, but I'll get it on another page, don't worry. And rather than having to go and look through YouTube or any other sources or even individual channels, so on, you get this constant feed. It's kind of like an RSS feed coming from YouTube and all the videos that you've asked alerts from. So not only can you see who's putting videos out, what they're about, sometimes a thumbnail, sometimes the thumbnail's captured from inside. So you can make a better judgment. Right now, do I want to go and look into this? And this, to me, I just find this a very efficient way. So there, I see Press TV, because of my back knowledge that I know about them, I know who they are, their alliances, where they're coming from, whose agenda they're serving, who their enemies and who their friends are. So having all that background knowledge, I can bounce onto this now. Press TV reporter gives latest updates on Iran's presidential election. That isn't something I'm interested in watching right now. And obviously when I'm doing this myself, I'm just boom, boom, boom. News bud, nah. Pays hundreds of thousands of pounds to do what one person can do with an internet connection. I don't get it. There was a new subscriber. That used to be CCTV America, that's the Chinese network, so I subscribe to the Yanks, the Americans, the frickin' Asians, the Ruskies, the Brits, every news source I can on YouTube. I ask for alerts on all of them. They all got thousands, literally thousands of emails a day I get from my YouTube. On a good day, I can be anal enough and get through them all. Sometimes I'll just rock up, clear the ship, and then I've got a constant news stream coming through my email. So again, this might not work for you, this might not be the way you like to work things. This is the way I can go and get through a hell of a lot of information. Oh god, they must be squeezing a shite out there. Even when I'm shouldn't say this, but even when I'm in hangouts or doing shows or something like that, and my head starts to wonder, I can sit on that and bounce through all the latest videos I'm getting from YouTube. So it's like my own personalised YouTube RSS feed coming through on my email alerts. So UK column, Eurasia on the brink. So that's another thing I do with my YouTube information. Also as well, subscribe to as many news, what do they call it, newsletters as you can. The exact same thing with your newsletters. Now don't get me wrong, you can get a lot of shite out there and a lot of rhyming or repeaters. As I said, try and go away from the rhyming repeaters and as close to sources as you can. Get newsletters from them, subscribe, organise it into your email. Where if a newsletter comes through from X, it goes into there, you know exactly what it is, what topic. and again, notice it, like, another thing as well, for me, over my longevity, one of the, not the smartest things, because it was just absolute, through the chaos in my brain, that this was the way that, as I looked into all this stuff, I was never purely fixated on one thing. Every now and again, you would come across in a major rabbit hole, and you'd go, right, shit, I'm going to get knee deep in this, and boom, you would focus on that for X amount of time. But for whatever rhyme or reason, just chance, probably, who knows, just maybe the craziness in my brain, I never really focused on one particular genre, topic, subgroup, subculture in the YouTubes over my longevity. And I touched on the Freeman and the Land stuff. Loved it, sucked into information, but I never gravitated down to the pigeonhole. Loved my legalese stuff. Loved my symbolism stuff. Loved my occult stuff. I've loved my religious style. I love all this stuff. I try and touch base with as many topics as I can. I will never be an expert in fuck all, right? Nothing. Because I've got a too wide variety of interests, and because I'm not doing any of this to become a particular professor or expert in any particular topic, I go where my head takes me. I genuinely do. That's why I thought the Q&A would be good as well, because it might allow me to go to places that I genuinely like when I'm flying solo and stuff that I wouldn't go near. And it's not that I'm scared to go near any particular topic. Everything's on the table. So with regards to what information to look at, where do I go to, what websites, that's all choices you have to make. If your heart's telling you to go and look into Bigfoot, start off with fucking Bigfoot. If your heart's telling you to start off with the UFOs, start off there. Remain truly skeptical about everything that you may even buy into. So for example, if you see a UFO and you're right into that, remain skeptical about it as well. Skepticism is very healthy. Very, 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 very healthy, especially when you're out there in a minefield full of people fighting for your loyalty. For all sorts of agendas. All sorts of agendas. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, who fuck knows, who can even tell. But there's a lot of people out there fighting for your loyalty, and they ain't what they say they're on what's on the tin. So, I mean, you see this ex-NASA guy, you remember, what was it, the Disclosure Project and stuff? How many hundreds of thousands of pounds do you think he made? How many people bought into him? Oh, they're going to announce it next week, alien technology, next week on. This guy's got a NASA badge. Oh, he's standing in front of a projector and he can point and shit, he's real. Remain skeptical. Go and look at some of the rabbit holes that are sucking you in to the degree. Go and look at the pattern of some of the rabbit holes that are sucking you in. And go and look and see if these have been done before in history, from flat Earth to lizards under the ground and all sorts of crap, man. And you'll see the pattern that a lot of these tricksters and fraudsters are doing nothing new. It's snake oil salesman 101, isn't it? It's all these scams have been done before. They just get new technology, a new word, a new way of naming it, framing it, selling it to you, using the interwebs. So that's my advice would be, to get through as many and organise yourself, get yourself into. I'm a habit creature as well. If the browser updates and it's different, it takes me a few days to get back into my swing of things again. I like to get things fixed into a set way of organising, shifting through information, and then after a few days or a few weeks or even like myself, months and years, it becomes automatic. You can shift through a hell of a lot, you know where everything is. to a certain degree, you've got it all organised, and there's just fucking crazy filing system, whether it be also as well with Firefox. You can actually, what I do with myself is my links in that folder, because that's cloud storage. I can go anywhere in the world, go into my Hotmail, and I've got all the stuff that I've sent to myself. I send myself emails. I know there's probably a quicker and easier and different ways of doing it and stuff. That's just what I do, right? And what do I send myself? Pictures, links, intros, outros, my bookmarks. There's a file on Firefox. You can save your bookmarks and send it to yourself. So if I was I know that you can synchronise it and sign in and all that. There's different ways of doing this. But basically, if I rock up and I'm playing away from home, or I'm at a different computer or something, I can more or less get my browser set up right there and then with all my bookmarks, which enables me to go boom, like BBC, ITV, Fox, boom, get quite a lot of news up very quickly. So again, it's just organising my way I go through it. Box smart, not hard. Box smart, not hard. And go follow information that you find interesting. If shit's monotonous and you're not having fun learning it, throw it away and come back later. When you're having fun, or just absolute the wonderment of curiosity when you're learning stuff, you ain't, oh my god, I'm learning stuff, I'm going to school. It's, fuck, really? Wow. It's like it's like the story of life unveiling itself in front of you instead of the fake ass made up shit. A genuine story of like what you think is really going on in the world. So that was my best way of answering that question. Hopefully, hopefully maybe that might some people might have got something from that. Just how I get through all my bull crap. So there's Glorious Revolutionary. Are you answering any questions on Skype? Yeah, buddy, if you want to message me on Skype, message a question. There's the Skype down there. Go into your Skype, put in call Kips Clips. You'll see my wee stupid face, black and white picture pop up. Click on that and you'll get into my Skype. Gas Mask and Mr. System Hater is in there as well. You can add me as a friend. Send me a message. You can even call in if you want to make a quick show. And like when I'm interacting with people, it sounds crazy, but just for to stop that hangout feeling, because I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe some people are put off joining the live hangouts and stuff because they feel it's a bunch of people sitting around that already are friends and know each other. And I can get that, and I feel that, and understand that people are a wee bit more apprehensive. So keeping it on this one-on-one thing, I'm hoping maybe it might allow a few more people to step out of the shadows and get involved and interact and stuff. So yeah, the Skype is down there. So let me bounce into this chat and see what I can say. So shit, fucking hell, 55 people watching. My God. Why don't you watch on Tuesdays and Fridays, man, when I actually do some fucking good shit? Anyway, anybody from the 55 watching, you want to ask a question, I'm going to quickly go and read the chat. The best way to do it would be getting the questions through me on Skype. I've also got a hangout open there. I see Matthew's in the hangout. Alright, Matthew, how you doing? You get a question there at all, buddy?
You right, mate? How are you doing?
Aye, all good, Matthew. How are you?
Alright, let me just plug in my microphone. Sorry about that.
What's happening? You with us, buddy? Right. This could cause obvious problems. And that's what I'm getting paranoid about. Craig, are you the train derailer? Don't know. What train? Never derailed a train to the best of my knowledge in my life. Truth Seeker, how you doing? Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Aye.
Hey, I just had a question. You know how everyone talks about how Earth is flat or it's round? Do you think it could possibly be cube shaped? Do you think it could be cube shaped?
Right, so there's the obvious problems with the wallopers. Yeah, man! Yeah! Calm down, calm fucking down, man! I've got my bumble wig and my fucking tash like that, man! Calm fucking down! Calm down, governor! Oh, Murph, if you're watching, go and fucking kick that scally in the balls for me. Yeah, man! Yeah, I don't really know! Flat Earth and stuff! Yeah! Do you really think it could be a ball with flat? I mean, come on. Any better ways of trying to wind me up than that? Come on, you've got the Skype. You've got the fucking Hangouts. You can come bombard me, man. Come on, wallopers. 50, it's went to 50, 80, 54. I think they've just figured out they can't really fucking get on the broadcast. Fucking morons. And no cunt can hear them. So, look, I'll do the sexual noises for you. Oh, 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 oh. So you ain't gonna get visuals on me. You're gonna come fucking orgasm me to death. Welcome to try, ball bags. Fuck off and watch your big fat fucking messiah fat slattery. Go and watch big ginger tits. I just asked the question, right? Hold on, I missed this. Filippo. 1994, he's 35. In 1994, he'd be 13. Keep on topic or leave. No, they can put anything they want. I don't give a shit. It's just actually like something I can understand. So write it now. Just ask a question now so I can actually see what you're asking and I'm no no, there'll be more than a few nuggets out tonight, man. They're creamed in their pants, so I'm gonna be able to, like, I don't know, make sexy noises on the internet. Ooh. Keep their knickers wet for a week, that will, man. Hugh McMahon, how you doing? That was a poor accent, Kev Faker. Mate, I fucking no cunt even likes him anymore for they fucking have any fans. I don't know, honestly, what a walloper. That guy's really just showed himself up for who he really is. But fair dues, man, people like that. Right, so where is, right, could have been James Slattery. Wouldn't surprise me, big fucking Fanta pants. Oh, man. Something's bad's going to happen to him. Imagine taking your kid out fucking pranking and all that way, you man. Putting your kid in danger like that shit. No good. Right, so is there anybody that actually wants to ask a question, or is it just ball bags that want to try and... Oh, no. Right, so hold on. Needs to be interactive. Hi, Blazing. Where's the throw a condom full of piss buttons? How do you join? Colin, mate, it's not really a hangout or anything, buddy. I'm trying to do like a Q&A. So it's no just like sit around the campfire saying kumbaya and exchange stuff. It's if people want to actually ask questions and stuff. I don't think there's a format for that. I think people just want to throw shit too much. I mean, it's trying to do something new instead of the same monotonous bullshit. It's like speaking to the choir, innit? How many new people are actually willing to listen to anything I've got to say? Very few, man. Check my Skype. Fuck. Right. If anybody wasn't in for the start, I've got a new Skype I'm using for this show only. It's down below. It's called Call Kips Clips. You'll get the link down there. If I can even work this shit. There, if you want to call me on Skype, put in Call Kips Clips on Skype and you'll find it. It does work because Gas Mask and Mr. System's done it. Right, so let me see if I can sign into my other Skype. Oh, cheers Taz, right, fuck, how am I going to get that? Cheers Taz. How am I going to... Oh, here we go, hold on. Right, there we go, I just sent something to myself. Right, so I can get into this article and then I'll talk about this bad boy. Right, yo. Railway vandals lose appeal, 15-year sentence upheld on death crash teenagers. I can't say I have heard this, mate. Fuck. Oh, guy. Fuck. I just answered it and then he hung up. Colin, if you've got a question, mate, just answer back. Right, I'm going to get into this in 1 wee second. First of all, I'm going to quickly check out. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Cool, man. I don't know. Like, does anybody understand what I'm trying? Questions and answers, man. Anyway, this is so much fun. Just want to show you. See if you recognise Ben Keeble. Aye, all good, mate. So, what is it you want to bring up, buddy? Not, oh shit, hold on. Not in my lifetime, buddy, not in my lifetime. I don't think the people are going to wake up for the bullshit of the general election, man. But I'll definitely touch on that topic, mate. So, what I'll do first of all is I'm going to touch on this railway thing after I've dealt with the Ben Cable, and then I'll touch on the general elections, buddy, alright? So if you've got anything else, Colin, mate, just phone in later, alright, man? Right, so I'll touch on that. So, Ben Cable, this is the wankers that are trying to get in. So, that's, I don't know, the wee wanks that are trying to get in. I have big nuts. Yes, you do, man. Then, let's have a wee shifty at the railway thing, then I'll touch on the general election, and then I'll see if I can get another wee question in. So Scotland's senior judge handed down an uncompromising warning yesterday that courts will show no mercy to railway vandals. Lord Hope, the Lord Justice General, was speaking at the Court of Criminal Appeal as it has refused to cut a 15-year sentence imposed on 2 teenagers who derailed a train, killing the driver and passenger. Difficult one, innit? A real difficult one. Can anybody remember being really young and really fucking stupid and really capable of some real retarded shit? I can. Fucking thankfully, it never resulted in any bullcrap, loss of life or any shit like that. So that's a real hard one, isn't it? I mean, let's forget about. I don't even think the debate's so much. Is the legal system good? Is it bad? It's just in this circumstance. How do you deal with that? Let's see what age the wee guys were. The court has a duty to do what it can to protect the public and especially to deter others from engaging in similar acts of vandalism which put all those who travel every day on the railways in this country's life at risk. A clear warning must go from the court to those who might be tempted to engage in acts of such wicked recklessness on railways that they will face very long terms of imprisonment as a consequence of their actions. Lord Hope, sitting with Lords Milligan and Cameron, heard that Gary Duggan... Hello? Alright! Alright! Yeah, yeah, man, how you doing? What do I think about what? Order 66? Without your local Chinese?
No, it's a government order by the senator, by the chancellor.
I don't think I can't say I've ever heard of it, to be honest.
Google it, you'll see it.
Right, no worries, mate. What I'll do is I'll get round, I'll finish this article and I'll talk about the general election, and then I'll batter into the... So Order 66 should get me there then, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Cheers, mate.
No worries, mate. I'll touch on that for you.
Thank you very much.
Time will tell if I stick Order 66 in it and then it's like some sort of a porn or something, but who knows, maybe that was a real genuine caller. First time for everything. So Order 66, I'll touch on the general election and then that Order 66. So what do you do with this? I was going to come to the age of these guys. So Gary Duggan and Craig Houston. Fucking hell. The train struck the slab. Small world. When was the date on this? On 1996? Alright. So did they get put into? Alright, so this is a walloper who supports Tommy Robinson. Has found out my name. I don't know, maybe he looked under every single YouTube video I put up and used his decryption. And he's been googling my name and I never knew there was a Craig Houston that was done for that. Fuck's sake, would I know still be in jail? Lord Hope, sitting with Lordsman, has heard that Gary Duggan and Craig Houston were 17 and 16 respectively when they laid concrete slabs on Wemyss Bay to Glasgow line near Greenock in June 1994. Well, maybe a long lost cousin. Didn't grow up in that neck of the wood. Do you know what's dead weird though? No, sorry, it wasn't Gary Duggan. I used to know a Paul Duggan when I was in school, but anyway, the train struck the slabs, hit a bridge, killing the driver. McKee, 35, from Baillieston, and Houston were originally charged with murder, but a jury at the High Court in Jarley found them guilty of the lesser charge of culpable homicide to 15 years. So would that be out? Oh, I'm just released for murder. There's been a murder. Oh no, Duggan of you'll find is there's lots of Houstons about. Never heard of another Craig Houston actually, but anyway, aye. Anybody that wants to go and do a wee bit of digging would be able to find probably a few pictures from when I was younger where I did grow up and stuff. So, so there we go. I don't know. Is this me paranoid? I'm like, right, why are they bringing up this story? Didn't timestamp it at the beginning, and then there's your punchline. I'm a secret train killer. I'm a secret train killer. Aye. So, the general election, Order 66. Hold on, I'm curious of this. Aye, wallopers, man. Yeah, man. Okay, fucking scousing, fucking big bumblewigs with fucking tashies, like. I don't even know, was that scouse? I don't know. Right. Well, still hanging about, so come on, you must be able to find new ways in. Nobody in the hangout. Nobody. Right, that's cool. How do I block people on Skype? And there we go. Sorted. Right, so the Skype's here. Anybody want to phone in with genuine questions? I don't know, why don't you try Order 69 or Blowjob Baracus or something? I don't know. Tazzy, how you doing? No, Kip, don't look. Did you know what Order 66 was, mate? Star Wars push. Did people that are into Star Wars know about that? And I just didn't have a clue. Hands are classified as deadly weapons. Part of Clip's payroll was to be a Scottish Alex Jones. Allegedly, aye. That was my parole conditions. You have to go out there and sell Tangy Tangerine to the UK market. In the evening. Why do you think the government's trying to hold us back? Benji? Right, just sounds similar to that. Anyway, so the general election thing, and then going to the weed thing. Well, my prediction for the general election, nobody's going to wake up. I'm pretty sure there must have been a lot more smarter, wiser people than myself that have woken up to the absolute degree of this scam, seen the very easy and obvious way out. I don't know, I can't. What do you do other than tell people they're enslaved and they don't believe you? And then you continuously try to show it, but anyway, it's hard. So I've got a prediction for the general election. Killzone Corbyn is coming. He's acting like a magnet just now for any remainders of good that have found its way into that viper's den of the UK Parliament. Anti-war, anti-nuclear, pro-Palestinian, or at least on the Palestinian cause. Also very open-minded when it comes to talking about the issue of one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. I think that's a good way of putting it. So, I don't trust him. I think he's doing a good job at failing. That seems to be what he's doing. So, analyse what he's doing in the process of failing. Right? What he's doing is he's shouting from the rooftops about almost every cause that every human being every half-decent human being in this country could be on board with. He's championing it. He's sucking in all these good meaning parliamentarians into one big area, one big club. And then this general election that's coming round is giving them the chance to destroy every single one of those MPs' careers before it's really started and make them unelectable politicians into the future, thus making them null and void, and in one clear swoop getting rid of all of them, if not every one of them, a lot of them, if not every one of them, out of the parliament in one fell swoop come this June the 8th. So I predict a SNP landslide. Oh man, and up here in Scotland. And I'll tell you what, man, you really need a big crystal ball to figure that one out. And I predict a fairly comfortable landslide by the Conservatives down in England, giving them a mandate for out-and-out control and destroying Jeremy Corbyn's Labour in the process. Killzone Corbyn. So Corbyn's turned into a killzone. He's just shepherding like a good wolf in sheep's clothing, shepherding all the good people into one big killzone area. And come this June the 8th, whoodum, they're all gone. So that's my kind of slight take on what that's what I think's going to happen this general election. There's no way there's going to be enough people to wake up by then to hold their own elections and stuff. I would like to think so, but I just can't see it. I mean, 2015, I was had so much enthusiasm about fucking holding my own election and all that. And then I ended up standing out in the street myself. I mean, great fun. So I'm sorry, man. Most people are like that, and very little action. And I don't think they mean it that way. It's just the way things pan out. Not everybody that's willing to speak out on the internet or even in the comment section of that is willing or capable of taking a step outside the front door. Never mind going outside the front door and engaging with people and stuff. So, yeah. So that's what I think is going to happen with the general election. With the government, with the weed. Well, it's who was it actually? Was it Taz? I think it was Taz. Hold on, I'm sure I've got it here. Oh no, that's not the one. Oh shit, I've no fucking. Oh no, hold on, there it's there. Right, this is what they're looking to do. I'm sure it was Taz that shared this with me. Thanks, Taz, if it was. If it wasn't, thanks, whoever it was. A framework for a regulated market for cannabis in the UK. Recommendations from an expert panel. This is, I believe it's a paper published by the Liberal Democrats with some of their proposed policies in. I notice there's a few people in the Hangout as well. Bear with me 1 sec, guys, and I'll get with you. Just wanted to check on that. So, what I can do though is while I'm in here, I can share my screen so you guys can see that. And this is exactly what they plan to do: regulate it. They plan on taking something you can grow yourself and selling it back to you, under the disguise of, oh, it's medicine, has to be regulated, it can do this, it can do that. It's a fucking plant, and who are these people to tell us what we do and do not do with what we do and don't do with plants? The whole logic of this escapes me. I was at 420 in Glasgow. You had Tommy Sheridan's socialist mob, Solidarity, turn up and try to what's the word I'm looking for? Manufacture people's consent to vote for them. People standing on a stage saying, I don't smoke weed, but vote for Solidarity because we're the only party that will do what you stoners want. And what do they want to do? They want to sell you back a plant that we can fucking we can grow ourselves. Right? What's happened is it's all about regulation control because they don't want to regulate or control the substance. They want to regulate and control the profit made from substances which are vastly popular with people. Right, so that was the general election and my touch on the cannabis thing. What I'm going to do as well, let me see. I'll stick that Liberal Democrats paper in the chat room for yous. So, got a few guys in the chat, in the... right, you're gone straight away, pal. There's Glorious Revolutionary. How you doing, buddy?
You alright, mate? How you doing?
Aye, all good. In the evening, mate. So, what was the question you were wanting to bring up this evening, buddy?
Well, several things really. I guess the general election and everything. Do you think they'll actually deliver on Brexit, or do you think they'll give away us, more of our sovereignty? Because it seems like we're going to leave and we're just going to regulate our markets anyway, regardless.
Yeah, it
I
seems.
was just wondering what you thought of that.
I mate, it seems like it's brand Brexit. So, who knows what the outcome will be? But it certainly seems that part of the conditions that we have to negotiate for leaving Europe or having a Brexit, a lot of those conditions seem to be wrapped up in you have to regulate your market exactly the same way as the European Union. So again, it seems like we're getting... it doesn't seem like we're getting our sovereignty back. It seems like we're getting the EU regulations with the British government having extra authority to put even more rules and regulations of the EU. So what it looks like is we're not only going to get the barrage of legislation, regulations, all the market controls that the European Union currently has in place. I think most of them will stay in place. But we'll also get the UK government being able to add on to that without the European Union having a say. I think an interesting thing to look at with this Brexit thing as well was the way that the European Court of Human Rights was getting used, had been used on a few occasions to overturn. I'm going to fuck up the details of this. The European Union Court of Rights had the ability to overrule decisions that had been made in the UK, right, saying that the sovereignty lied in the EU. Now, I think what's going to happen with sovereignty is in the sense that we're no longer going to have to abide by the European Union Court of Human Rights, but we're going to get all the market regulations, and legislation as well. So we're going to have all the controls, because leaving the European Union, people basically wanted to be able to trade as a single sovereign entity and make our own decisions with regards to trade. But all these deals that we're signing after post-Brexit with the Conservatives, who by the way are pro-European Union, are signing all these trade deals which are locking us into pretty much the same as before deal. But then when it comes to human rights and that side of things, when you hear... I'm not fully up to speed to this. Who was it who was talking about this? It was the UK column, actually. And they were talking about, at the moment, there's this constitutional crisis in the sense that there's people out there that would argue we've got a constitution. It's not written down. It's very hard to get your head around. It's
not codified, is it? It's an uncodified constitution.
It exists in opinion. And I don't think this is by accident. I think it's purely by design, in the way that nobody knows what's going on, because it's a consensus of what people say. So it's about getting a big bunch of people with funny wigs in a room and getting them to agree on what the British Constitution is. There isn't a written document saying here's the British Constitution and this is what we need to adhere to. So we seem to be getting none of the trade restrictions lifted. None of the trade restrictions lifted at all. In fact, exactly the same. But what we seem to be getting is this question of the British Constitution, where our sovereignty lies, kind of being addressed, but ultimately moving towards a rewriting of the Human Rights Act in the UK. They want to scrap all the old human rights legislation and write it afresh.
But a lot of the human rights legislation is hindering free speech, especially when it comes to discrimination against minorities. One of the reasons people get arrested for criticising radical Islam or even Judaism is because of this act. But like you said, will they just introduce another act just like it and add even more crap to it and say it's human rights?
Well, time will tell, I'm sure, but one thing I would say I'm not 100% sure on is what's happening just now. The change that we're getting isn't for the better. I mean, I really don't think that the Brexit was what people wanted it to be. It's been used as a vessel. This is the way I see it. It's been used as a vessel to manipulate the masses into accepting change. Like, what that change is debatable. All they want to do is prime us to accept change. So they're priming us to accepting change, regardless of what that change is. They're not saying to us, what is Brexit? Is that a hard Brexit? Is it a soft Brexit? Do you have your Brexit in the morning, afternoon, or night? It's up to you. So it definitely doesn't seem... It doesn't seem like it's moving us towards any form of... It doesn't seem like it's moving us in the right direction. It seems that it's using this brand Brexit, as I called it back in the day. It's a brand. Nobody's really going into what it actually means or simplifying it. It's all if, buts, maybes. We need to negotiate this. We could be paying 100 billion to the EU. They might be paying us money. Complete cognitive dissonance when people should be boiling it down to simplistic terms. Where's the law made? Where does the buck stop? Who negotiates these trade deals? And we shouldn't have to sort of standardise it to fit into another market, because open markets are not really that open. They're only open to people that are allowed into them. So it's not open or free trade. It's controlled, regulated trade.
Keynesian.
Exactly, man. So, but I don't think we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get a genuine Brexit. It's already got 1,001 bells and whistles attached, so our trade thing doesn't seem to be changing. But it seems to be taking us down this debate on our constitution and the human rights bill in the UK, and it'll be very interesting to see if the Conservative Party, after the general election, do start trying to rewrite the human rights bill and whatnot. And again, it'll be Edward Bernays'd up, legalese, bullshit, and surely it can't be a step in the right direction. They don't even live up to half the commitments on the current human rights bills that they've got, never mind writing a new one and living up to that. So, sorry I couldn't answer that any better for you, buddy. But
brilliant answer. Is it okay if I ask one more question?
Aye, but in, man.
It's about the French election. Obviously, Emmanuel Macron is a former Rothschild bank investment manager, and the BBC has made him out to be some kind of outsider, as if though it was somehow unlikely he would win. I mean, he's such a creepy guy.
Well,
Do you think obviously he will solidify and make the EU stronger, and obviously try and control us even more? Do you see it happening?
well, Macron's an interesting one, man. Like, as it more and more came up to the end of the election, I think it was obvious that he was going to win. And then when you look at the two people you were left with, Le Pen or Macron, as you said, Macron, Rothschild, Rothschild banker educated in a fucking elite Jesuit school who was groomed by his monkey looking fucking teacher. What could possibly go wrong? So, what I don't know what will happen with regards to the European Union, although I do know this Macron's ball deep. He's a heavy unionist. I think he was even walked out to the European Union national anthem and stuff. But what you can categorically say, and even like the mainstream media and stuff is talking about this, is the landscape of French politics has been completely changed forever. Macron, I'm pretty sure the party that he headed that won was a relatively new party in French political terms. Le Pen has never been one of the main front runners in France. The National Front's always been down in the doldrums. But now with all this nationalism versus globalism, pick a side, they managed to destroy the old status quo. They managed to completely destroy the old status quo in the political landscape of France, and if the centre of the politics was there beforehand, after this election, the centre of the politics has moved a good few feet over to the right. And if that doesn't make sense for people, what I'm saying is the average of political feeling in France has moved from left to right, with the parties that have now manifested to be the front runners and stuff. Time will tell with regards to what will happen with the European Union and stuff. I mean, it's got me bamboozled with the greater plan of that. But so sorry, mate. Anything else you would like to say at all?
China as well. I mean, obviously China came out the other day in the World Economic Forum and suggested what's people estimate to cost around $800 billion, a massive infrastructure plan of obviously the African continent and poorer countries in Asia. Do you think China's part of the whole New World Order, or do you think they're actually fighting against it? And there's more to it than we think.
Well, mate, like look, right now in the world, you've got basically three big superpowers, aren't you? You've got China, you've got Ruski, and you've got NATO, the European American alliance. Rothschild banks are inside China. The Rothschild banks are still inside Russia. Russia didn't get rid of the Rothschild banks. What he'd done was take more of the control back in-house, which means the banks are not owned by the state. They're more regulated by the state, but they're still private Rothschild banks making profit for private individuals. So, like, with China as well, what I know about China is China has been making amazing inroads into France, into Africa. If you go and look, funnily enough, go and look at the ghost towns that China have left in Libya, for example.
I've seen some of those.
Not even in China.
Libya.
In Libya, see before NATO went in and bombed the shit out of Libya, the Chinese were everywhere there. Everywhere. I'm probably fucking up a few of the details, but a quick Google search will find all this. Either just before the NATO bombing campaign or just after it, or when NATO was talking about bombing Libya, China got rid of all its citizens. I'm trying to think, where else has China been in Africa? Nigeria, if I can remember right. The Chinas have been in Nigeria.
as well.
Um,
Ethiopia and Zimbabwe as well.
and what when I first was hearing the information about China and their investment in other countries, what you noticed was not long after this, there seemed to be Western-led elements. Oh, sorry, there seemed to be terrorism popping up in these areas, and then Western elements having to go in to sort it out. I don't. Mali rings a bell. I remember France and Germany going into Mali over some shite. And I can't remember if the Chinos were in there as well, but the Chinos were definitely trying to make inroads into Africa. It's obviously a massive, massive resource there, just ready for the gobbling up. So I see China, Russia, and America, the three superpowers. I see them as, God knows how far down the pyramid, rung on the pyramid, but I see them as part of the yin and yang, the green and the blue, the red and the blue, the red and the white, the dualities. I see them as part of the competing forces they put out there to genuinely compete. How do you fake a fight? What's the best way to fake a fight? Or make a fight or this argument look really, really convincing? Well, you get the people taking part in it convinced that they're in a real argument. And I believe to a certain level with the compartmentalisation, that these ideologies do think they're jogging it out with each other. But even when you go and look at the ideology behind Russia just now, the one behind America, it's one and the same. It's gangsterism at the top, with a lot of fucking Edward Bernays spin and shit, and make everything look shit hot, all fur coat and no knickers. So when you look at China, when you look at Russia, when you look at America, I believe what they're doing, the competition, the struggle that's going on for resources, area of land, geopolitical control of certain areas of the world, I believe it's all real. But only to a certain level. If you look at the topics and subjects that none, Putin, Xi Jinping, or whatever his name is, fucking any of our Western leaders will never touch on. They'll never touch on usury, the creation of money, taxation is theft, the authority of courts, where these kings, queens, nobility, lords, judges, sheriffs, police, where all these people claim authority to tell other human beings what to do. They never approach this shite. I remember even, it's either the G8 or the G7. Was it the G8 before Russia got kicked out? And it was when all the Russian Syria shit was happening and they all rocked up. I'm sure it was in Ireland actually. And they've rocked up for their wee meeting. And this was when Putin and Obama were making stink face at each other. But they're all like the BBC and everybody, yes, they disagreed about what was happening on Syria, but they did agree on global plans to stop tax avoidance. Woo! So what you've got there is you've got the triads and the fucking you've got the triads. I'm paraphrasing. You've got the triads. You've got the craze. You've got the Bloods, the Crips, you've got them, all the gangster motherfuckers sitting round the table going, right, okay, we agree on the turf, we're fighting over turf, but we do agree that we still need to fucking make sure that people buy our product and don't get away with tax avoiding or paying the piper for living in our world. So, different ideologies, different compartmentalisation. So the war, the fighting, and the belief that there's a struggle is all very real until you reach the top when there's those. Don't question the money. Don't question usury. Don't question jet jubilees. Don't question religion's role in usury and how religion, not so much Judaism because that always allowed usury, but Islam and Christianity, they used to ban usury. It's funny how they love it now, isn't it? In fact, the Church of England, all sorts of churches have got stocks and shares and arms countries and lots of money in the world casinos and stuff. They're all using bastards. All using bastards. I seen a clip. Anyway, I digress. So, thanks for that question. So, oh shit, Finsel's away. Shit, sorry, mate. Sorry, Finsel's. If you want to try and get back in, mate, get back in. Sorry, buddy. I'm rattling on too much here. But glorious revolutionist. That's the way I see Russia, China, and NATO, the West interacting with each other. It's the stuff above the arguments we're allowed to have. The places the governments don't ever take you to. The places Russell Brand has now been trained not to allow you to question. I don't care who you vote for, just register to vote. So he's turned into a complete magician. So anything else you would like to know at all, buddy?
I'm just curious, what are your views on anarcho-capitalism?
Well, so I agree with a lot of it for obvious reasons, right? But it's like everything, I just can't find an ideology or another set of rules or an ideology that a man set up that I can 100% subscribe to. I can always find flaws in something that I'm not happy about it. But like, and you know what? It's still something. I mean, I'm so on board with a lot of principles of anarchy. It's untrue. It's just when I see these groups manifesting themselves, it's not something that I'm like, right, that's not my idea of how to promote good ideas. It seems like somebody's took that good idea and then tried to hide it behind smashing shit up, which just puts a lot of people off.
Exactly. Especially with Antifa. What makes me laugh about Antifa in particular is everyone says they're these anarchists, but they're actually protesting for more government control, aren't they?
Fucking commies, like literally commies. Yeah, exactly. They don't even understand. I would guesstimate maybe 75% of the people that turn up for that Antifa don't even know that it's they're commies. No, they are communists. It's set up in an organisation of communists with communism principles that are trying to capitalise on what's happening right now to further their political agenda. Sound familiar? Fucking leeches and scumfucks everywhere.
A bit like the brown shirts, Germany, isn't it? But I mean, I remember there was someone shared. I think it was Lauren Southern shared on Twitter. There was this family. They had a communist flag, sat at McDonald's. It's like the most anti-communist thing you could possibly do. Sitting down eating McDonald's.
I actually seen that down the rounds on Facebook, and it's so funny. People no self-awareness. I mean, I can't remember. I was with F.E.A.R, so it must have been about 2013 maybe. I went to an anti-fascist. I think it was my first anti-fascist protest in Glasgow, and I've went there dead innocent and stuff. I hate fascists. They're all bastards. And then I kid you, what an awakening! Turning up to a field full of people saying they're anti-fascists, and what they wanted to do was ban the SDL, the Scottish Defence League. Like, we need to ban all these idiots. They shouldn't be allowed to exist. They should die. Kill them. I was looking around me like, I cannot just start rhyming and repeating and getting into the herd mentality here when the mentality of these people is, let's be fascist towards the fascists. I mean, I think people come into this just right, these people have said something I like, they're the good guys, who's their arch nemesis, they're all bad guys, now let's fight. They never open up, they never go into this with the open-mindedness to think, I dare say, within the KKK, Antifa, fucking the alt-right, fucking Labour, Conservatives, SNP, all this shit. I guarantee I could find a lot of amazing individuals that I could sit down with on a one-to-one basis, have a healthy debate, about topics and subjects that are important to both of us, and we would both like each other. But you get in that herd mentality. That one person that perceives to be the smaller group stands up to the bigger group. Everybody thinks that their tribe, their group is under attack. I best defend them. And then that one guy who's just trying to get his voice heard is all of a sudden picked on by that other group, and they cannot see. It's the self-awareness of the herd mentality. People are aware. Fraudsters, con artists, people on TV, marketing fucking companies, they're all aware of the herd mentality. They go along to get along. I mean, we've seen it on candid camera and all these experiments you can see everywhere. People need to be self-aware of that, and even though that group over there, everybody's against a rapist. Everybody, well, I don't know, maybe there are some people that are pro-rape out there, who fuck knows, but the vast majority of people with brain cells are anti-rape, anti-violence, anti-bullcrap, and they use all these very commonly agreed on, tug on your heartstring issues to inject clandestine under the table agendas, whether it be hate Mr. Brownie, hate that culture, so you're less likely to object when Israel is fucking genociding and mass slaughtering brown people because you think they're all the exact same. Again, herd mentality. I hate plenty of people, but I want to hate people for my own reasons. Right, if somebody rocks up to me and goes, don't listen to him, don't listen to her, he's this, he's that, I'm like, I straight want to run to that person and try and make up my own opinion. I really, really do. I try and take everybody as I find them. And if more people had that individual approach, individuals could turn up and not have to protest in teams. I've not been to a even the Palestine marches and stuff I've been at. There's been chants getting chanted that I cannot agree with. What was the one at the Palestinian one? Push them back into the sea. I can't remember. Palestine will be free. From the Euphrates to the sea or something. Or from the West Bank to the sea. But even then I'm like, right, hold on a sec. It's a bit crazy coming out and saying that. Surely you're looking for a solution? Maybe the final solution. Surely you're looking for a solution to the problem. Not something that's going to pour more petrol, more flammable shit over the whole argument and inflame both sides. Right? It's like being an adult and seeing two dumbass fucking stupid kids arguing. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong, you're just idiots. You just want to grab their fucking heads, whack them and go, shut the fuck up and stop fighting. That's what I want to do with fucking all these morons. Bang! Shut the fuck up, you idiots. Fucking so little time and all you do is want to run around fighting with fucking every cunt when we're all part of the same fucking bullcrap. Anyway, sorry.
Cheers, man. That's the answer I was looking for.
Well, mate, that's me ran for over about an hour and a half now, so I'm going to wrap it up. Quickly.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for that. I've noticed Taz as well. Taz, thanks. I think that's a quality way. Taz has been monitoring the chat for me and put a few questions my way, which saves me for having to multitask like a bad boy. So thank you very much, Taz. I'll go through these questions. And Daniel Whelan, how you doing, my man? Kip, do you think the EU will ever die? If so, how? When? Where? Thanks, mate. See, well, I don't know. It's not so much about the EU, but this makes me think of something good. Because a few of those questions like that, like when do you see this happening? What do you see happening? Everything's happening right now. If that makes any sense, everything's happening right now. We as individuals, will never be aware of what's just happened on a day-to-day basis, because the change is happening now. A lot of us would agree it seems to be speeding up. The quickening's getting quicker. But I think our attention, I think just in general, humans in general, and as an individual as well, our attention spans, time on this planet, is one experience. Say you get into your 70s or 80s. I think even that is too short a time frame to see the amazingly large changes. I'm not saying they're good. The amazingly large changes that these people are managing to get away with over the case of 2-3 generations, which, with the agendas they're pushing, is fuck all. I mean, what was that? That's the signing of the Balfour Declaration, 100 years old in November. 100 years since somebody went, what? Homeland for the Jewish people? What? Write down a wee paragraph, and Shazam, 100 years later, how many deaths? So, look what's happened in the last 100 years. I'm going to go into this on Tuesday, by the way. I'll show you a wee sneak peek what I've got lined up for Tuesday. And again, this is just a timeline of stuff that's happened in and around this, so... shit. Look at the timeline of World War One. Starting, finishing. Go and look at a good synopsis. Go and look at the treaties and all that after World War One. Go and look who ruled Israel, Palestine, or was it Ottoman Syria? Go and look who ruled Ottoman Syria. It's all self-explanatory. I'm fucking giving the answers away here, but I'll take a wee trip down that route on Tuesday and show you why anybody, who the hell can stand up in the clear light of day and say they support Zionism? This is why they're trying to flush this political ideology that all these fucking douchebags follow down the toilet pan and dress it up over the Jews and all this shit, making it unquestionable. Anyway, I digress. So, I don't think any of us will ever see the EU flourish or die. Because ultimately what they want is small... What's happening just now is working towards exactly what they want. Is centralisation of power, right? Military and money. Centralisation of trade. We're getting that. Even with Brexit, the UK are agreeing with the EU to keep everything similar. But then what you might get, or what looks like materialising, is all these fucking militarised nations. But how can you be a nation if you're in the European Union? But like all these old countries keeping their borders, but it's militarised. The borders are heavily policed to save us from the brown people. And then what do you have? You have a locked down, centralised unit where the citizens haven't even got the freedom of movement. You know, the good thing that we were told that we wanted the European Union for. So you've got all the drawbacks, none of the benefits, none of the freedoms, all the regulations, all the centralisation, money in one place, military in one place, one singer, one song. So do I think I'll witness the death of the EU? I'd like to think fucking aye, but I'm a skeptic, so I'm even skeptical about the fucking good shit happening. But we might see the death of the European Union, but just like we've seen the death of the British Empire and the Roman Empire before it, it was more a decloaking exercise than a genuine collapsing of that empire. So I don't know if I can answer that question or no, mate. I hope it would end tomorrow. But What's your view on parliamentary enclosure, Kip? Let me just ponder that for 2 seconds. It's just a coincidence that I will be pondering it for the same amount of time that it will take me to Google it and figure out what the fuck it is. Just a coincidence. Just an absolute coincidence. Mate, I'm not exactly sure what parliamentary enclosure is. I'm assuming it's obviously some sort of a fucking retarded rule which goes on in parliaments. Maybe once I have a wee shifty, it will become more clear. Oh shit. So thanks for the question, Stewie. I don't know how well this is flowing and stuff, guys and girls, but do bear with me, I'll try. Right, so what is it? From a recent guide to I'm improving my ignorance with every click. Parliamentary enclosure and open fields. Alright, this does actually seem like very something interesting. I would like to go and get my head round. Is it about land rights and stuff? During the 18th and 19th centuries, enclosure were by means of local acts of parliament called enclosure acts. These parliamentary enclosures consolidated strips in the open fields into more compact units and enclosed much of the remaining pasture, commons or wastes. Parliamentary enclosures usually provided commoners with some other land in compensation for the loss of common rights. Oh, right. Aye. This is making more sense to me now. This is like you used to have commons. Now it varies from Scotland to England, so don't shout at me if I'm getting bits wrong. And it's been ages since I've touched on this as well. And I would really need to go and I know up in Scotland, and I'm like, you go to any market city that used to have a market back in the day, forgot the name of it, you'll find this wee pole pedestal thing, is that's where the local mayor or the Lord Provost or what have you, and I'm fucking up a lot of information, but that's where there used to be like this pole. It was like a kind of bandstandy thing that they're all decorated now, and they're pretty prominent in most market cities, towns and cities and stuff. And that's where the local lord, I suppose the best way of saying it, he would have probably had the right. And over time they used to have these lands. I think Glasgow Green is still common land. Like you can take your sheep and your horses and all that stuff down there. So mate, to say I've got an opinion on it, I'd be lying. I know less than what the fucking Wikipedia is telling me. So, Stewie, thanks for bringing that up, mate. I'm going to have to definitely improve my ignorance on that. Although often of poor quality and limited extent, enclosures consisted of exchange in land and an extinguishing of common rights. This allowed farmers consolidation and fenced off plots of land in contrast to multiple small strips spread out and separated. So put your conspiracy nut on, go and put it into the time frame what was happening in the country at that time. It was during the explosion of the British Empire. Just like now, just like then, a lot of changes were getting put through very quickly because things were changing globally for the British Empire, so on and so forth. And they rushed through a lot of things, fucking us commoners in the ass. So, something to look into. Especially if you want to do squatting and some activism and stuff like that. This is something they're going to have to change. I know in Glasgow, I think Glasgow Green, no Glasgow Green, I think Glasgow Green as well, but I think George Square is still common land. That's why when you go and pitch a tent there, they have to basically do all sorts of scumbaggery and ballbaggery to move you, when in reality they can't. You're a citizen of Glasgow, you can go and fucking camp there as long as you like. By the letter of the law, there isn't really any law that they can do to get you out of a common space. So I don't want to butcher any more of that. Excuse my ignorance. Crypto Klaus, why are you creating an us versus them mentality on YouTube? And why do you act like a bully sometimes? Well, I don't know. Do I act like a bully? Is ab hominem attack people I hate acting like a bully? Slagging, I don't know. It's just and us and them. Well, an us and them mentality. Well, there is an us and them. There's people who I don't trust, and there's people who I think are real, and people who I think are fake, or part of an echo chamber or stuff. So, like, I'm not trying to create any us versus them mentality. I just wasn't willing to subscribe to the we're all in it together, we need to pull together, the independent media are all under attack, we need to stand behind Alex Jones. Fuck that. The unquestioning fucking... It's like the BBC standing up for ITV. You know what I mean? They're all in it together. I don't know, just maybe I'm uber sceptical about the shit out there in alternative media. Maybe I think YouTube is just as easily controlled as the fucking TV. Maybe I think the people that are fucking controlling us are smart bastards and predicted that the internet might be useful as a propaganda tool. But oh hey ho, I'm just going to keep my BBC and stuff. Not going to think about maybe one of the best propaganda tools out there. I'm not even going to try and propagate it. I'm not even going to try and sort of start echo chambers and steer people down a particular route. So, I don't know, I suppose that's subjective. I'm not trying to create anything us versus them mentality. This is an open hangout, everybody's welcome, there's no topic off the table. I just think nobody's so high on a pedestal you can't criticise them. What else was I going to say there? Dating us versus them mentality. It's subjective. I don't want to be in any team. I don't think anybody should be in any team. And I'm not in for like cult-like thinking. I remember very early on when I came into this, like, all full of innocence and whatnot, and just the nervousness and the tightening of an arsehole you would get if you wanted to criticise Alex Jones because of the backlash you would get, and cult-like mentality. Attack their leader like Tommy Robinson. If you fucking think Tommy Robinson's one of us, he's a useful fucking idiot, man. And act like a bully sometimes. I don't know, again, that's subjective. Never been a bully in my reality. I love to slag people off. Also as well, like, see all these questions I'm asking about Alex Jones and the alternative media, so on and so forth. These are all genuine, honest to God questions that I've got going through my head. Right, so these are questions I'm asking myself that I want answered. And then over time I'm like, hold on a second. What I'm seeing might not be what other people are seeing. But if I don't say what I see, what's the fucking point? What's the whole fucking point? So, Crypto Klaus, all some of that's subjective. Stevie C, how you doing? What about the whole Coney 2012 carry on? Jesus, what was that? Nigeria? That fits into what we were talking about earlier on. Boko Haram, Boko the scam. Was Comey in Nigeria? Go and look into the vast oil fields that were found. Johnny Good Luck, what was his name? Good Luck Johnny or whatever his name was. Go and look at the Nigerian branch of the old Western oil companies that are in there mining the shit out of that place. They found some corruption and some fraud coming from the Nigeria wing, and the Boko Haram scam Comey thing bounced up. The only thing I can really remember about that Comey carry on was the way it came out of nowhere. It died as quickly as it came out, and one of the guys that were pushing it clearly ended up in bath salts or something and getting naked running down the street and stuff, if I can remember right. So thanks Stevie C, can't really remember much more than that. Collie man, how you doing? What do you think of the viability of the whole system based on an oath not in line with statutory legislation, i.e. the combination oath? What do I think about the validity of the whole system, based on an oath not in line with statutory legislation? Right, aye, so I think I don't know, I'm a bit stupid in my reading skills or shit. I think what you're saying, what would you like, a whole system of society, which obviously law and whatnot would be into that, based on an oath system, swearing oaths, allegiances and stuff, rather than line with legislation. Well, couldn't be, an oath-based system couldn't be any worse than a man writing shit down on a bit of paper which can be reviewed at any time system, I would think. I think anything. Like, if we were sitting down at a table and trying to discuss how do you structure a society or some sort of an organisation in society, I think it all has to be in the head and the heart. I'm not saying you can't write shit down to remember it, right? But these things have to be remembered in the context that they were created. And what I'm basing that on is the American Declaration of Independence, the American Constitution, and how you can see, arguably, an attempt by individuals to manifest a better system than what they were used to. I think even, I'm going to get this wrong, I'm not too much up on all this. Was it Jefferson as well? Was it Jefferson? Can't remember. And he muted the idea that the Republic would probably only last for 100 to 200 years, and then they would have to have another revolution because the corruption would have manifested itself again. And that's the way I see things. Look at a lot of things in history. Look at a lot of things that people have came across when they're looking into history that make perfect sense but are no longer here. Some sort of a agreement within the society to make a coherent society that usury should be banned. And usury and capitalism are one of the same. Usury, the people with money make money off the people with no money. Capitalism, the people with money make money off of people with no money. Capitalism, usury, same thing. And again, that this has to be, you can write it down, but then there has to be people coming together and understanding the context of why usury should never be allowed in the society again. There's less checks and balances, and it promotes the corruption that's within us rather than trying to put it at bay. It rewards corruption. It rewards herding, hoarding, taking more than you need. And it's an inverted way of looking at society for me, and it's inverted because it's been invented by a person at top to keep the people at top, and the people at the bottom. I like a kind of like a chaos theory kind of thing. But aye, so oaths. The reason I want to stay, I'm skeptical about oaths because again, an oath between two men relies on those two men being honourable and upholding that oath, and that doesn't take into consideration for the corruption of man. So two people make an oath, one's honourable, one's not. This one goes off and fucking doesn't uphold his oath. But this guy still has to uphold his oath because he's honourable. Right? So it's me natural fucking law. You can agree with it. You can agree things and contracts on a bit of paper, but it comes down to your own discernment on that individual, how like. And even all the contract law and all that as well, 9 times out of 10 it's out of money. It's out in exchange of money. So thanks for that, Collie, man. Fuck knows if I answered it or not. I've done my best. So I'm going to quickly say hi to the chat, then I'll wrap this thing up. You can let me know in your comments after the fact whether you have enjoyed this, whether it's been a worthwhile exercise or whatnot. If you have enjoyed, call Kip. Q&A, feel free to stick a wee thumbs up, it is much appreciated. You can share it with friends, families and some foes. I'll say hi to the people in the chat. I won't be reading the messages just yet, just try and say hi to everybody. Hail us, Stewie, Taz, thanks Taz for all the help. Truth Seeker in the evening, guys. Committed Escaper, Lopsum, Truth Seeker, Paula B, how you doing, Paula? Thanks for joining. Join Welsh, Crypto Klaus, Hail Us, Elusive Exposure Radio, how you doing, Martin? Nice to see you in, man. Make sure you click on Martin's name, get his channel and look for all the podcasts and clips that Martin puts up, some good stuff there. Tazzy, Hail Us, Stewie, and hopefully I've managed to Scully B Kraken, how you doing? Truth Seeker, hopefully Jemima, how you doing? What accent was I doing? I can't remember. Was it the Scouser one? I do not know. Blazing, how you doing, my man? Lopsum, Collie man, Jemima, Tazzy, and hopefully Philos, how you doing, Philos? Nice to see you in again, buddy. Finso, sorry Finso, I should have got you earlier, mate. Still learning the ropes of this new format, so take a wee bit until I get it down slick. So in the evening, one and all, thanks for joining. Hopefully this has worked to some degree or some element. Maybe moving forward I'll get a better way of getting the questions to me, then moving on and all that. So thumbs it up, share it on Facebook, all the good stuff. Tune in tomorrow for NewsRant, I believe, at 6 bells, and Soul Excalibur at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, keep forgetting. So make sure you tune in for that. Link below for the community page. I do my best to share all the other hangouts and all the other YouTubers and information that I appreciate and whatnot on my community page. So alright YouTube, thanks for listening. Catch yous.
upon us, F.E.A.R, F.E.A.R, it's F.E.A.R, F.E.A.R, come on. It keeps the cheese and the maze and the rats and the race and us peasants in the days like a head up on the aces, F.E.A.R, come on.